Quantum Clone by Colton Dennis. When Dr. Catherine Schwalb does an experiment on herself, she discovers that her numbers were wrong and ends up cloning herself. Now, Catherine has a duplicate of herself. That's exactly the same, but the clone has two urges: sexual and murder. Will they be able to figure out who's the real Catherine? Mandeville, Louisiana, 2002. People appear walking around a laboratory, typing on the keyboard. Florence Housen appears next to the computer, stands up, then walks towards the test tubes. A test tube is being grabbed, then gets placed into a generator. The generator turns on. Florence walks away, knocking on the office door. Kristen Schwalb appears behind the desk, then looks up. "Florence, what can I do for you?" asked Kristen. "I was looking at these numbers again. I believe they are wrong. The complexity of the radiation would probably kill the person, not generate new cells," said Florence. "Let me see that," said Kristen, grabbing the papers from Florence. "You're right, I must have did something wrong. Added the equation or the primary," said Kristen. "Do you want me to fix it?" asked Kristen. "No, it was my mistake. I'll do it. Thanks for bringing this to my attention," said Kristen. "No problem," said Florence, walking out of office. Kristen continues looking at the papers, then types onto her keyboard. "Where did I go wrong?" Numbers appear on the computer screen. An image of DNA appears. "That goes there, this goes here. Damn it." Kristen takes off her glasses, rubs her eyes, then looks at her watch. "Shit, Florence," said Kristen. Florence walks back into the office. "Yes, Kristen?" asked Florence. "I forgot that today was Wednesday. I need to meet Jasmine to go over a few things. Can you handle everything until I get back?" asked Kristen. "Of course, get out of here," said Florence. "Thanks, you're a lifesaver," said Kristen, walking out of office, then down hallway. "Have fun," said Florence. A restaurant appears. Jasmine Trella and Jospa Sauter appear sitting at a table. "Where is she?" asked Jasmine. "Just wait a little longer, honey. She'll be here," said Jospa. "Yeah, you're right," said Jasmine. Footsteps are approaching. Kristen sits down. "I'm sorry I'm late. I totally forgot. Been busy at the lab," said Kristen. "It's all right. Kristen, meet my boyfriend, Jospa Sauter." "Jospa, meet Dr. Schwalb," said Jasmine. "Nice to meet you," said Jospa. "You too. Wait, did you say Sauter? As in Sauter Inc.? asked Kristen. "Yes, ma'am. I'm the co-owner of Sauter Inc. My grandfather built the business. It was passed down through the generations," said Jospa. "It's an honor," said Kristen. "Jospa is thinking about investing in your lab. God knows you need the money. But, Jospa wants to see what you have got so far," said Jasmine. "Well, I'm still trying to work out the kinks in my one formula. It's supposed to help regenerate new cells. But, I'm having trouble finding the right formula," said Kristen. "Well, it's a good thing I'm here. Because, I want to put my best two people on the job. Lise Peag and Noah Bradway. They are my two top scientists. You'll really like them. Sweethearts to the bones," said Jospa. "All right, when can they stop by?" asked Kirsten. "How does 4 o'clock sound?" asked Jospa. "Sounds good," said Kristen. "All right, so we're in business," said Jasmine. "No, quiet. I want to see a demonstration. Whether the formula works or not. Whatever you don't have, my top two scientists will fill in for you," said Jospa. "Yes, sir," said Kristen. "So, shall we order?" asked Jasmine. The generator stops. The lid opens. Florence grabs the test tube, raises it to the light, then walks towards the computer, typing on the keyboard. The laboratory door opens. Florence looks up. "Hey Kristen, how did it go?" asked Florence. "We have our work cut out for us. Sauter Inc. is thinking about investing in us," said Kristen. "Sauter Inc., really? What's the problem then?" asked Florence. "Jospa Sauter is stopping by at 4 o'clock to see a demonstration on our formula," said Kristen. 4, that's only an hour and a half. We need more time for the formula to work," said Florence. "Don't look at me. That's what Jospa wants. And whatever we don't have, he's gonna bring his two top people in to help us," said Kristen. "In our lab," said Florence. "Yes, Florence," said Kristen. "Then we should get started and try our best," said Florence. "Definitely," said Kristen. Both Florence and Kristen are walking around the laboratory, then grabbing equipment. The clock is ticking, then reads 4 o'clock. Knocking on the laboratory door. Both Florence and Kristen look at each other. "Showtime," said Florence. "Let's hope this works," said Kristen, walking towards the laboratory door. The laboratory door opens. All four are walking into the laboratory. Dr. Schwalb, nice to see you again, said Jospa. You too, Mr. Sauter, said Kristen. These are my top 2 scientists. Dr. Lise Peag and Dr. Noah Bradway. Doctors, meet Dr. Kristen Schwalb, said Jospa. Nice to meet you, said Noah. Same, this is one of my top scientists and best friend. Dr. Florence Hausen, said Kristen. Nice to meet you, said Florence. So, what do you have for us? Asked Jospa. Right, the demonstration. Florence, said Kristen. Florence opens the cage. A rat is squealing. It's all right, Stuart, said Florence. You named your rat, Stuart, said Lise. Yeah, said Florence. Typical, no wonder why this place is crashing, said Lise. Florence looks at Stuart. Huh, what's that? Yeah, okay, I'll tell her. Stuart says, you're a bitch, said Florence. Lise goes to step forward. Jospa holds out his right arm. Dr. Schwalb, if this is how you run a laboratory, I think we'll go somewhere else, said Jospa. Wait, don't go. Dr. Hausen was just making a joke. That's all, apologize. Florence looks at Kristen. Apologize, said Kristen. I'm sorry, that Stuart called you a bitch, said Florence. Fine, said Lise. Now Kristen, can you continue? Asked Jasmine. Yes. Florence, said Kristen. Florence places the rat into a machine. What does this do? Asked Noah. It's supposed to generate new cells. To repair the body back to normal, said Kristen. Florence turns the machine on. The rat is running on the table, then it squeaks. The machine turns off. The cage door opens. Florence grabs the rat. Now, as you can see, the rat's old cells were broken down. But now, if we look, the cells have regenerated. Impressive, said Jospa. A beeping noise comes from the computer. The rat collapses, then squeaks softly. What's going on? Asked Noah. The formula didn't work, said Kristen. He's dead, said Florence. Well, drive, Schwalb, it looks like I almost invested into something bad. From now on, my 2 top scientists will take over. They will be your boss. The 2 of you will report to me. Now, if you don't mind, I'm up for a round of golf. Jasmine, said Jospa, holding out his left arm. Jasmine wraps her right arm around Jospa's left arm. All 4 are walking away. Kristen is leaning against the table. I'm sorry about this, Kristen, said Florence. Yeah, me too. I'm sorry about Stuart. I know he was your favorite, said Kristen. Yeah, but at least he's not in pain anymore, said Florence. Yeah, I'm gonna be in my office, said Kristen, walking away. All right, I'll be here if you need me, said Florence. Kristen's office door shuts. Kristen lays on her couch in her office. Knocking on the office door. What? Asked Kristen. The office door opens. Hey Kristen, I'm gonna head home now. Are you sure you're all right? Asked Florence. Yeah, just peachy. Just lost my job to 2 new scientists. I'm just floating on feathers, said Kristen. If you need to talk, you know my number, said Florence. The office door shuts. Kristen closes her eyes, then opens them. The numbers. I believe I figured it out, said Kristen, standing up. Typing on the keyboard. The test tubes are being placed into the generator. The generator turns on, then it stops. The lid opens. Kristen puts the test tube into a holder. A human-sized generator door opens. Kristen walks into the generator, then shuts the door. The computer is counting down, then hits 0. The machine turns on. Kristen starts groaning. The machine turns off. The generator door opens. Kristen walks out of the generator, then she collapses onto the laboratory floor. The second generator door opens. The steam slowly dissipates. A duplicate of Kristen appears, opens her eyes, then walks out of the generator. What is this place? Asked the clone of Kristen, looking around, sees a lab coat, then grabs it. Footsteps are walking. Security guard number 1 appears behind the desk. The clone of Kristen appears walking. Evening drive, Schwalb. The clone of Kristen looks at security guard number 1. Are you all right, Doc? Asked security guard number 1. I'm fine, said Kristen. Did an experiment go wrong? Asked security guard number 1. What? How did you know that? Asked the clone of Kristen. You're only wearing a lab coat. Burnt your clothes, huh? Asked security guard number 1. Yeah, I'm leaving, said the clone of Kristen. All right, said security guard number 1. Do you know where I lived? Asked the clone of Kristen. You don't remember where you live. Man, that testing is getting to your head. Come on, I'll take you home. I need to lock up first, said security guard number 1. Both the clone of Kristen and security guard number 1 are walking towards a car. The car doors open. Both the clone of Kristen and security guard number 1 get into the car. Nice vehicle, said the clone of Kristen. Really, you always made fun of it. Every single day, said security guard number 1. Sorry about that, said clone of Kristen. The car starts then drives away. The clone of Kristen is looking out the passenger window. Wow, what a beautiful place, said the clone of Kristen. You need to get out more, Doc. This place always looks like this, said security guard number 1. Really, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time, said the clone of Kristen. Security guard number 1 laughs. That's a good one, Doc. The car continues driving, then it slows down. All right, here we are, Doc. Have a good evening, said security guard number 1. Which one is my house? Asked the clone of Kristen. That one. You really don't remember. You might have amnesia, said security guard number 1. I'm all right. Thanks for the ride, said the clone of Kristen, getting out of the car, walks around it, then stops next to the driver's side. The driver window rolls down. Are you sure you're all right, Doc? Asked security guard number 1. The clone of Kristen turns around. Would you like to come inside? I don't want to be alone, said the clone of Kristen. The car turns off. The driver door opens then shuts. The front door of the house opens. Both the clone of Kristen and security guard number 1 walk inside of the house. Nice house, Doc, said security guard number 1. Thanks, said the clone of Kristen, walking down the hallway. The bedroom door opens. Kristen looks around the bedroom. Security guard number 1 approaches the bedroom doorway. So, what's the plan? Asked security guard number 1. The clone of Kristen turns towards security guard number 1, then kisses him. Both the clone of Kristen and security guard number 1 laying onto the bed. Kristen appears on top of security guard number 1, then starts riding him. Security guard number 1 is moaning. Do you like that? Asked clone of Kristen. Yeah baby, keep going. Security guard number 1 continues moaning. That was wonderful, said security guard number 1. It was. Now I'm done, said the clone of Kristen, grabbing a pillow, then puts it over security guard number 1's face. Security guard number 1 is struggling, then he goes limp. The clone of Kristen moves the pillow, gets off security guard number 1, then walks away. The sun slowly rises. The laboratory door opens. Florence walks into the laboratory. Kristen walks out of her office. Hey Kristen, said Florence. Hey Florence, said Kristen. Man, you look awful. Did you sleep here last night? Asked Florence. Yeah, right on that floor, said Kristen. Why? Asked Florence. Last night, I re-looked at the formula. Then I did it on myself, said Kristen. That's dangerous to do. Are you all right? Asked Florence. I'm fine, feel great actually. Like some weight was lifted off me, said Kristen. I'm gonna run a few tests on you. Just in case you're all right, said Florence. Kristen's house appears. The front door opens. The clone of Kristen walks towards security guard number 1's car. Morning Kristen, said neighbor number 1. Morning, said the clone of Kristen, walking towards the car. New car? Asked neighbor number 1. Yeah, said the clone of Kristen, getting into the car. The car starts, then it drives away. Both Jasmine and Jospa appear at the restaurant eating. The car pulls into the parking lot, then it stops. Wow, look at that car, said Jasmine. The driver door opens then shuts. The clone of Kristen is walking. Isn't that your friend? Asked Jospa. Yeah, Kristen, over here, said Jasmine. The clone of Kristen looks at Jasmine and Jospa, then approaches them. Hi, said the clone of Kristen. Where'd you get that car? Asked Jasmine. Just bought it. I thought I needed a new one. And who's your friend? Asked clone of Kristen. It's Drive. Sauter, remember. Your new boss, said Jasmine. Oh, my new boss. Well, I forgot how handsome you are, said the clone of Kristen. Why thank you. And I hope there's no hard feelings about yesterday, said Jospa. None at all, said the clone of Kristen, sitting down. My 2 scientists will arrive at your laboratory by 10 today. To start the new formula, said Jospa. Actually, I came up with a better formula, said the clone of Kristen. Really, a better one? What is it? Asked Jospa. Nope, I can't tell you in front of others. It's a secret, said the clone of Kristen. When can we see the demonstration? Asked Jospa. Anytime you want, said the clone of Kristen, putting her hand onto Jospa's leg. The laboratory door opens. Both Lise and Noah walk into the laboratory, then see Kristen attached to a machine. What's going on here? Asked Lise. Kristen did an experiment on herself last night. I'm just checking to see if there's anything wrong, said Florence. What formula did you do? Asked Noah. I wrote it down on the chalkboard, said Kristen. Noah walks towards the chalkboard. Why would you do an experiment on yourself? That's suicide, said Liz. I was trying to see if that formula would create new cells, said Kristen. Well, this formula didn't create new cells. You put the numbers in the wrong spot. See here, the Y29 should actually be here, while the X2 should be here, said Noah. Really? Then that would create new cells, said Kristen. It probably would, said Noah. Then let's get started, said Kristen. I don't think so. I want you to rest. I don't care if you say you feel great. You could have died last night. Go to your office and sleep, said Florence. But, the formula, said Kristen. We can handle it, now go, said Florence. Kristen walks into her office. The office door shuts. The restaurant appears. Both the clone of Kristen and Jospa are laughing. Jospa, I think it's time to go, said Jasmine. All right, thanks for a lovely lunch, Kristen. Hope to see you again, said Jospa. Perhaps soon, Jospa, said the clone of Kristen. Both Jasmine and Jospa are walking away. Your friend is so delightful, said Jospa. Yeah, but she seems different, said Jasmine. The clone of Kristen is watching both Jasmine and Jospa walking away, then she pulls out his wallet. Thanks for the help, said the clone of Kristen smiling. Noah is writing on the chalkboard. Noah, are you sure about that? Shouldn't it be X3 not X2? Asked Liz. Yeah, because X2 matches with X29. Remember in Professor Stroman's class? He said, with every even, there is an odd to match, said Noah. Liz looks at her book. But, here it says, X3 is compared to X29, said Liz. But that's for the neurotic system. Not this one, said Noah. All right, you're right. Sorry about that, said Liz. No worries, Liz, said Noah. The generator stops. The lid opens. Here's the new sample. Should we try it on the rat? Asked Florence. Definitely, I hate rats, said Liz. Feelings mutual, said Florence, placing the test tube into the machine. The cage opens. Florence grabs a rat, then places it into the machine. The rat is squeaking. The machine door shuts, then it turns on. I hope this works. I don't want another rat dead, said Noah. The machine stops. The machine door opens. The rat is squeaking, then gets placed onto a table. The rat's cells appear on the computer screen. Florence is looking at her watch. Is it working? Asked Liz. So far, said Florence. How long does it usually take? Asked Noah. 30 to 90 seconds, said Florence. How long has it been? Asked Liz. 62 seconds. Come on, work. 3, 2, 1. 90 seconds are up. I think we did it, said Florence. All three are cheering. The laboratory door opens. What's going on? Asked Kristen. We did it. We did it, Kristen. They found the formula, said Florence. All four start cheering. This calls for a celebration, said Kristen. The car appears driving, then it stops at a traffic light. The clone of Kristen is looking around, then sees all four walking out of the laboratory. Who's that? Asked the clone of Kristen, looking at Kristen. No's car starts, then it drives away. Security guard number 1's car follows behind No's car. The restaurant appears. No's car parks, then it turns off. The car doors open, then shut. All four are walking towards the restaurant. Security guard number 1's car pulls into the parking lot, it stops, then parks. Table for 4 please, said Liz. All right, follow me, said waiter number 1. All four are walking, then sit down. I'll have the fish, said Liz. Me too, said Noah. I'll have the steak, said Florence. Same, said Kristen. All right, your food will be right out, said waiter number 1, walking away. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, said Kristen, walking away. All three are talking. A toilet flushes. Kristen walks out of the stall, washes her hands, then splashes water into her face. The clone of Kristen appears, grabs a towel, then hands it to Kristen. Here you go, said the clone of Kristen. Thanks, said Kristen, wiping off her face, sees the clone of Kristen in the mirror, then turns around. Oh my god, said Kristen. I know the feeling. I'm guessing you're the real Kristen Schwalbe, said the clone of Kristen. Yes, how? Asked Kristen. You did this to yourself. But, since there's 2 of us, one must go, said the clone of Kristen. What do you mean, must go? Asked Kristen. You know what I mean, said the clone of Kristen, punching Kristen. Kristen falls onto the bathroom floor, holds her face, then looks up at the clone of Kristen. The clone of Kristen kicks Kristen's stomach. Kristen groans. Please, stop this. You don't need to do this, said Kristen. Sorry, I have to, said the clone of Kristen. But, if you kill me, how do you explain yourself? I can help you, said Kristen. No, but, maybe you're right about that. If you die, how do I explain myself? Maybe, I can be you. I'll just have to hide you out of sight, said the clone of Kristen, smiling. Kristen's eyes widen. The clone of Kristen is walking. Kristen, over here, said Florence. The clone of Kristen approaches the table, then sits down. So, what do you think, Kristen? Asked Noah. About what? Asked the clone of Kristen. The formula we just discovered. Regenerating damaged cells, said Noah. Oh, it's wonderful, said the clone of Kristen. Lise is eating, then looks at the clone of Kristen. Are you all right, Drive? Schwalb? Asked Lise. Fine, you, said the clone of Kristen. All right, said Lise, taking a bite of her fish. So, what is the plan for tonight? Asked Florence. I have something to do tonight, said the clone of Kristen. What? Asked Florence. My own plans, said the clone of Kristen. All right, don't snap at me, said Florence. How about, me and you have dinner tonight, Florence? Asked Noah. Me and you? Asked Florence. Yeah, said Noah. Sure, said Florence. What are you doing tonight, Lise? Asked Noah. Just having a relaxing night alone, said Lise. All four are walking out of the restaurant. The clone of Kristen starts walking. Hey Kristen, where are you going? I drove you here, remember? Said Noah. I'll walk, said the clone of Kristen. That's a far walk, said Noah. I can manage, said the clone of Kristen. Suit yourself, said Noah. Noah's car starts, then it dives away. The clone of Kristen waves, then walks back into the restaurant. Night falls. Knocking on the door. Noah's front door opens. Florence appears. Wow, you look amazing, said Noah. Thanks, said Florence, walking into the house. I made some chicken. Hope you don't mind, said Noah. Not at all, said Florence. Wine? Asked Noah. I'd love some, said Florence. The cork pops off of the wine bottle. The wine gets poured into 2 glasses. A glass gets handed to Florence. Kristen's house appears. The clone of Kristen is walking towards the bedroom. The bedroom door opens. Kristen appears tied to the bed, then she mumbles. Quiet, I'm trying to see what I should wear. Clothes appear. Is this good for a murder? Kristen continues mumbling. Don't worry, tonight. You're going to jail. And I'm off to California. This beautiful thing needs a tan. The clone of Kristen grabs a dress. Perfect, said the clone of Kristen. Jasmine appears in the shower. The front door of Jasmine's house unlocks, then it opens. Jasmine washes her hair. Footsteps are walking. Shampoo gets rinsed from Jasmine's hair. The bathroom door opens. Jospa, is that you? The shower turns off, then the curtain gets moved. The bathroom door appears wide open. Jesus, Joe, shut the door after coming in here. Jasmine walks out of the bathroom, then towards the bedroom. The towel falls onto the floor. Jasmine opens her closet, grabs a shirt, then puts it on. Music starts playing in the distance. Jasmine looks. Jospa, is that you? Jospa. Jasmine walks down the hallway, then gets to the living room. Joe, where are you? Jasmine turns off the radio. Stop playing games, Joe. Jasmine walks back towards the bedroom, then moves the blankets on the bed. The closet door creaks. Jasmine looks at the closet door, she sighs, then walks towards it. I told you to, said Jasmine, opening the closest door. A knife goes into Jasmine's stomach. Jasmine gasps, then falls onto the bedroom floor. The clone of Kristen appears. Sorry, Jasmine, but I couldn't handle your attitude anymore. See you in hell, said the clone of Kristen, walking away. The telephone receiver gets picked up. The buttons are being pushed. A car appears driving, then the telephone starts ringing. Hello, Jospa Sauter, said Jospa. Hey, Mr. Sauter, it's Kristen. I need to talk to you. In private, said the clone of Kristen. All right, where are you? I'll come to you now, asked Joseph. I'm at the lab. Please get there so we can talk, said the clone of Kristen. No problem, said Jospa. See you in a little bit, said Kristen, hanging up the telephone receiver, then she smiles. Kristen appears still tied to the bed, sees a nail file on the nightstand, then kicks it. The nail file falls off of the nightstand. Kristen's foot reaches for the nail file, then drags it. The nail file is being raised, placed into Kristen's hands, then it starts cutting the rope. Kristen takes the tape off of her mouth, stands up, then grabs her telephone receiver. The buttons are being pushed. Both Florence and Noah appear sitting on the couch kissing. The telephone starts ringing. Hang on, 1 second, said Florence. Hello, said Florence. Florence, it's Kristen, said Kristen. What's up? Asked Florence. Listen to me very carefully. There's another me out there, said Kristen. Another you, said Florence. Yes, you know how I told you I did that formula on myself. I believe I was able to clone myself, said Kristen. Kristen, that makes no sense. Now good night. I'm a little busy at the moment, said Florence, hanging up the telephone receiver. What did Kristen want? Asked Noah. She said, there's another Kristen wandering the streets. What an imagination, said Florence, kissing Noah. You mean, like a clone? Asked Noah. Yeah, I guess so. Noah stands up. Is something wrong? Asked Florence. That formula she had before we changed it. People say that formula could duplicate someone, said Noah. So, there is another Kristen wandering the streets, said Florence. Come on, said Noah. Lise appears reading, knocking on the front door. Lise places her book down, then walks towards the front door. The front door opens. Hello, hello, damn kids. Lise shuts the front door, then walks into the living room. Whoa, why is it cold in here? Damn window, it's too cold out to have it open, said Lise, shutting the window. The clone of Kristen appears behind Lise. Lise sees the reflection of the clone of Kristen in the window. A wire gets wrapped around Lise's neck. Lise is struggling, then runs backwards. Both the clone of Kristen and Lise fall over the couch. Lise is crawling on the floor. The clone of Kristen stomps onto Lise's back. Lise is groaning. Time to die, said the clone of Kristen, wrapping the wire around Lise's throat again. Lise is struggling, then she goes limp. The clone of Kristen throws Lise's body down. 3 more, then Kristen's off to jail, said the clone of Kristen. Jospa's car is driving, parks, then it turns off. The laboratory door opens. Jospa walks into the laboratory. Hello, Dr. Schwalb. Kristen baby. Are you here? Hello. Is anybody here? Asked Jospa. Kristen appears. Mr. Sauter, said Kristen. Oh, there's my baby. Come to daddy, said Jospa, wrapping his arms around Kristen. Get off me, what are you doing? Asked Kristen. You called me and said to meet you here. Oh, look who's playing the shy one, said Jospa. She hit on you, didn't she? Asked Kristen. Who? Asked Jospa. Me, said the clone of Kristen, appearing. Both Jospa and Kristen look at the clone of Kristen. You have a twin? Asked Jospa. No, she's my clone, said Kristen. How'd you do that? Asked Jospa. By accident, said Kristen. I misjudged you. I should have killed you when I had you tied up, said the clone of Kristen. This is amazing. Who cares about that formula for cells? We have a whole new discovery. You know how much money we'll make. Oh, I'm gonna be the richest person alive, said Jospa. No, you're not. You'll be the richest person who's dead, said the clone of Kristen, pointing a handgun. The handgun fires. Jospa gets shot in his chest, then he falls onto the laboratory floor. Mr. Sauter, said Kristen. Well, 4 dead, 2 to go. Then you're sent to jail. And I head off to California, said the clone of Kristen. Noah appears behind the clone of Kristen, then knocks the handgun out of her hand. The handgun slides onto the laboratory floor. The clone of Kristen kicks Noah's testicles. Noah groans. The clone of Kristen punches Noah. Noah falls onto the laboratory floor. Florence punches the clone of Kristen. The clone of Kristen holds her face, then looks at Florence. Oh shit, said Florence. The clone of Kristen punches Florence. Florence goes over the laboratory table. Kristen tackles the clone of Kristen. Both the clone of Kristen and Kristen are fighting. Noah groans, stands up, then approaches Florence. Are you all right? Asked Noah. Florence groans. I think so, said Florence. Both the clone of Kristen and Kristen continue fighting. Noah sees the handgun on the laboratory floor, then grabs it. Kristen falls onto the laboratory floor. Noah, shoot her. She's the clone, said Kristen. Noah points the handgun at the clone of Kristen. The clone of Kristen looks up at Noah. No, said the clone of Kristen. The handgun fires. The clone of Kristen gets shot, then falls onto the laboratory floor. Stay here, said Noah, approaching the body of the clone of Kristen. Is she? Asked Kristen. Yeah, she's dead. Are you all right? Asked Noah. Yeah, Florence, asked Kristen. Florence nods her head. This'll be a weird story to tell the police. Let's get out of here, said Noah. The sun rises. Both Florence and Noah appear in bed. Noah wakes up, then kisses Florence's right arm. Florence wakes up. Morning, said Florence. Morning, said Noah. Let's get to the lab, said Florence. Noah's car is driving, parks, then it turns off. Both Florence and Noah are walking into the laboratory. Hey, where's Kristen? Asked Noah. I don't know. Kristen, are you here? I don't know where she is, said Florence. Malibu, California. The beach appears. People appear walking around. Man number 1 whistles at the clone of Kristen. Looking good, baby, said man number 1. Thanks, honey, but you ain't getting any. The clone of Kristen appears and sitting in a chair. Like I said, Mama needs a tan, said the clone of Kristen, laughing then sipping her drink. The end.